right, so my name is Jalen Green and I'm with the Nocturno. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How you feeling?
Good. I love your background. That is beautiful.
Thank you. It's
That is
transitional right now, but thank you. I'll take it.
that's so cool. So you have a lot going on, a lot of exciting
Mhm.
things, and I want to get into all of it if you don't mind.
Yeah, we
Um,
can.
so start it first. I want to start with you reunited with Keith Harris for your sixth studio album. That's really cool. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, what people can expect from it?
Yeah, this is it's just my long awaited per some of the people, some of the fans. Sticks album, but it started off with these songs OI and Fire, and we have another one I think for you before the album comes, but it's just I've been feeling what I've been going through. Every album is almost like a life documentary, like piece of the story. I'm not the person that has their personal life out there too heavy, you know. I prefer to let it roll through the music. And so this is the next installment I want to say. It's my sixth album. It's wild. I just wanted to dance and be happy, you know.
I got that for
Um,
sure
that
from
was
Oh
that was
I.
the main thing.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah, right? Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to dance the entire time.
That you're on the page, you're on the train.
Yeah.
Because I think it got to a point, maybe personally, and I felt like in the world, maybe around 2016, 17, that everybody was just miserable. And I was like, things happen when we're happy. Life moves. You can count the amount of times where something brilliant has happened for you while you were miserable versus the amount of times like something really dope has happened while you were in a happy state. Like really zero narrowed down. You'd be like, you know, life took a turn, or this thing happened, or this thing popped up, or I got money in my account, or I fell in love with the love of my life, or I met someone really cool when I was happy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that was my thing. I was kind of like, we get more when we're in our joy space. So I went hard finding that space personally, and then I went hard doing that intentionally with the music. I just refused to make any more sad songs, you know?
About to say, is that what we're gonna get throughout? Because I did hear a snippet of Fire, and it is absolutely fire. It is amazing.
Thank
Again,
you.
I just want to
Thank you.
dance the entire time. Are we gonna get that from start to finish, like just like a party, feel good type of album?
It is a party of sorts. It's a lounge. It's a in my house. It's a outside. It's a in the club. It's a at the festival. It's a every walk of life. Just joy. I keep saying I feel like this album speaks to the joy in people, to the light in people. It's not to convince you that you got to think my version of it is the coldest, or my ice is the coldest. It's to speak to your own ice. It's to speak to your own light. It's to let you know that it's okay. If however you feel in any day, everything is perfect. But there's joy in you,
Yeah.
and you can use that joy to transmute anything you want. And whether it's listening to the record and being like, I was feeling shit this morning, you put on OY and you're like, wait, my shoulder's going. How can I be pissed when my shoulder's going? Like it's to give you personal agency over your joy, to remind you that you come from love and you are love and you are joy, and that's it.
Oh,
Move
that's
from there.
yeah, and I saw you tapped into like 80s, 90s house music. Is there a reason? Again, we're talking about joy, so obviously uplifting music.
Yeah,
But can you talk about that a little
that's
bit?
where we that's where we come from. Like I am 44. Like I'm the elder millennial generation, right? And I'm just like, I feel like it's bananas to say. But like that's been our life. Like the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, we know all that music. We knew when there were like corded phones. We knew when there were like some people came, the ones like maybe 2 years older than me are familiar with that 8 track. Like I don't know. I came in like a year after that, but I definitely had the gram. Like my grandma had the gram in her house, which was like the big record player.
Yeah.
So we know all of the generations, all the way up to I have an iPhone that can think for me. You know,
Yeah.
I was able to, like, in the last year of her life, years of her life, I was able to FaceTime my grandma. So the reality of I've lived all these spans of music and all these spans of times, and I just think to myself, yeah, we know music. we know the depths, and we didn't just pop up, as Kamala say, we didn't just drop out of a coconut tree. We have legacy, we have family, we have people, and we know where we come from with the music. So it's reminding us where we come from. It's reminding us that we have joy inherently. That's our birthright. That's who we are. And this music is that plug in for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, speaking of time, I'm 24 and, 2008, I can't be talking to you and not talk about American Boy. I know you've seen TikToks, videos, and it's just
Yeah.
like, I feel like I was 8 when it came out, so I feel like it's a core
Uh-huh.
memory of me like understanding music. Um,
Wow.
you did a Nash remix to it. Can you talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit?
Everybody's been remixing that my song for like as long as it's been out, essentially 16 years. Everyone's been remixing it, right? And my whole thing was like, what are we remixing? Let me see who got the illest remix.
Yeah.
And it was a way to celebrate the 16th year of it, first of all. 16 boils down to a seven. That's a major number for me. And I think it means all things good. But it was just, it was almost like commemorating a period of life that has happened and allowing me to like kind of move on to the next with an official, for today's world, for the people in today's world. And I mean that not just the youth, not just the youngins. I mean that like everybody in today's world, to give you another way to kind of carry a memory that you said a core memory
Mhm.
forward into today's world. So it doesn't feel dated. It doesn't feel, not that the record feels dated, but
Mhm.
this, to celebrate it in today's world. That's literally it. And we did a competition, and Nashup, who happens to also be in a, I didn't know it at the time. He happens to also have been in a group like that had a hit record like in around 2008, 2009, which is wild,
Yeah.
produce the remix that I love the most,
Yeah.
you know? And you catch his vibe. He's the exact opposite of what you think I would even, person I would know. But I was like, I know you. I know your energy. I know your vibe because I've been there. I know that, I have friends that are just like you, suit, like he's got blonde, blue, and green hair at any given time. He's like out there in the instance clubs for real. And he produced this soulful Afro beatsy, and I was like, this speaks to the idea that we are all one. We know what we know. We were all touched by good music from any genre, any era, any time. And so I was happy to have him do it. It was good. It's a good vibe, and I'm
Yeah.
happy people love it. You know,
People love it. It's funny, the
yeah,
irony that I'm talking to you right now. 2 weeks ago, I went to a
yeah,
concert and the DJ
yeah.
was playing music and American Boy came on. And when I say the entire crowd before the main act was like, we were all singing along. So when I found out I was going to talk to you, I was like, there's no way. Because like literally, this was like 2 weeks ago. It was so
It's
cool.
alignment. This is
Yeah.
alignment. This is what that
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So it is a
Yeah.
classic song. I feel like it'll never go
Thank
out of
you.
style. Put it on, people
Thank
are
you.
dancing and jamming. And
Yeah.
I know you have if that was on Shine, right? You have a vinyl coming out
Yeah.
for the first time?
Yeah. I have vinyl coming out with that because everyone keeps asking me for it. We released vinyl when it first came out, and now everyone's like, can you run this up again, please? So vinyl takes a minute. So we're putting it out, I think this month. The vinyl's coming. The vinyl's coming. Yeah, it's out. So I'm excited for people to have it, and vinyl's becoming a thing again. I don't know that it went away, but here we are. It's becoming a thing again. People want that feel, that groove, and then I guess the surprise of let's see how well this record mixes with that record, of it all. I like it. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
It's
Yeah,
something
it's a
nostalgic.
collector's item.
Yeah, that exactly that. It's
Yeah,
just something nostalgic about seeing a record play and it's different from the phone,
yeah,
so it's kind of nice.
wildly different. And then you hear and feel the entire vibe of the record. Like everyone listens to music on their phone, right? And I'm always like, where's the bass line? I need the bass line. Like, I know I work with Apple and I'm 3 seconds away every single day from being like, so can you remake the phone with some bass line to it? Just without having to plug it into anything. Just put the bass inside the phone. I need some something, I need I need something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you.
That's awesome. I mean, I also saw
Yeah.
you're working on a lot, which is really, really cool. You have a memoir coming
Mm.
out. Can you talk about
I
that?
do. I do. It doesn't feel like a lot. It feels like par for the course. I resisted writing a book for the longest. Everyone was trying to get me to write a book maybe 5 years ago. My friends were like, "You have to write." I was like, "About what? I haven't lived yet. Give me a second, you know." And then it came around, and the idea was like, "Well, how do you want to write it?" And I was like, I think what I've learned so far would be far more. helpful than, hey, this happened and this was crazy and and sensational, tearing people down talk. And so I'm writing it from the perspective of what I've learned so far. You'd be surprised the things that have happened that I've taken specific lessons from instead of feeling bitter, and the things that I felt bitter about, but also had to like reconcile with myself. Or go, maybe you did some of that too. Cut it out. Like, relax, and learn from it. So that's the angle, and that's the lane of the book, is things I've learned this far, like things under the things I've known for sure. Like Oprah had a book called Things I Know for Sure, which was really helpful during a period of life for me. And it's kind of in that vein where it's like, these are the lessons I learned, and this is how I do it, and this is how these things turned around for me, and here's how maybe it can help you.
Nice. It's kind of like
So
another outlet for you, like with your album you just
yeah,
talked about. It's just another format of,
yeah,
release, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. We're artists, we create, right? That's what we do. We make things.
and I
Yeah,
saw it's going to be about like your experience from the UK to the US, all of that we can
yeah,
look forward to.
yeah. Everything, again, everyone knows the general story of me coming here, but they don't know that this story has started like 10 to 15 years earlier. And there's the highlights of meeting Kanye at the Waffle House, and I'm always like, yeah, there was a whole album before this one even came out, before we even met Kanye at the Waffle House. It was a successful tour, baby. I was moving through life. I bought my Louboutins at 22. This was nothing new when I came here, and it's just a different, it's a story. It's a real. There's so much. There's so much to it that I
Yeah.
think people deserve to know aside from the highlights.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we just talked about music, we talked about a book.
yeah,
We also have a show called the Estelle Show.
yeah,
Like, can we
yeah.
talk about that? It's kind of what we're
Tell
doing.
me what
You
when people
do.
pop up on my Instagram and they're like, I'm like, right here. Where have you been? Like, you cannot act with that. You have to go down the line and be like, oh, so she's been in a radio show. Oh, so she's been writing a book. Oh, so she's been working on music. Oh, she's been living.
Mhm.
That's how I
She's been
feel.
working.
Yeah,
Been working.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been doing things. The Estelle show came maybe a year before the Panini and was a beautiful segue into the Panini for me, the pandemic.
Oh,
And
absolutely. I
I
got
definitely was, you got it. Okay. Because when I say that, sometimes people are like, what?
Oh
The
no.
Panini? I'm like, yeah. So it came as a beautiful, just a walk in for me, because it was, I, and this is how a lot of this is part of the book. Like I pray and I listen and I start getting very strong urges about things. And I got a very strong urge about the radio show. I was like, I really wanted, I think I wanted to be I wanted to originally do just a podcast like once a month, something. And the opportunity came from Apple and they were like, we want you to do this 5 days a week. And I was like, word, let's do it. I could do that. I started on radio as like an intern or just like a co-host at my friend's show on Choice FM like 20 years ago, like in maybe 2000s, so early 2000s. So for me, it was just like a return to the original. And I look at it like I've had so much experience in all the things I'm doing now throughout my life. They just came back around. All the opportunities and all the moments came back around. Like writing a book. I wanted to write a book. I started working as a journalist. That's how I got into my job as a journalist. Doing interviews for a website was because I used to write short stories at the house just for my personal, brain thing, like to keep, ideas and creativity. And come back around, I have a life story to write about this time. I have a radio show, I used to work as an intern, like so many things, like the breadcrumbs of my life. And that's partly what the book's about,
Yeah.
follow the breadcrumbs.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so cool that you have these full circle moments. And I think just being a creative,
Yeah.
people can get deterred sometimes. Why do you think it's so important to
Yeah.
just do it? Like you said multiple times, like, I want
Yeah.
to do this, and now you're having all these full circle moments. What would you say
Yeah.
to someone to just like
Yeah.
literally just do it?
Just do it. You never know until you know. I was 19 and 20, like, what's the rating? Let's go. Try it at least, And it was nuts because I think about the conditions around it. And if I'd have thought about the conditions around it, I wouldn't have did it. So, I lived in West London. It's like going from, where are you based in New York right
I'm in
now? Or are
Philly,
you not?
Philadelphia.
Philly?
Yeah.
So, East Coast. It's like going from, I don't know, uh, North Philly to South Street to go work, and then having to get the bus back at like 6 in the morning because that's when your shift was up.
Yeah.
If I'd have known that that was it, my mom would have been like, absolutely not. No, I was just telling her, I'm good, I'm good. I'm at the radio station. You can listen in. I know my mom was biting her nails a lot at the time. Like, what is my daughter doing?
Yeah.
Every once a month, Friday, I would go in there and knock it out. But if I'd have thought about how am I going to get home, if the thought wasn't just like, just go do it, you'll figure it out. You'll figure out while you're flying. You'll figure out how to fly while you're on the way. you know, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have had the experience. It wouldn't have been like, I can do this. I know exactly what that is 20 years later. So I'm only grateful for every opportunity. My thought is always just jump, go for it. You'll figure it out. Don't overthink it. Don't ask 50, 11 friends. This is your journey. You'll
Yeah.
be all right,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
That's
Trust
awesome.
yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want to talk about the Get Out the Vote PSA that you're a part of. It's by Icon
Mhm.
Man called
Yeah.
Too Am America. What was it
Yeah.
like being a part of that? I saw the footage. It was with a bunch of amazing, talented people. How was that experience?
Yeah. I've done things with them pretty much every voting season, and I'm honored to be called, back as a citizen this time, a full citizen this time. I think the last one I did, I was just a citizen, just became a citizen. It was my first voting um, scenario, and I felt like, okay, I have a say for real. They're not looking at me like, why is English girl up here talking, telling us to vote again? People need an excuse for everything. Um, but this time around, it was like, no, and I had actual real world experience when I think about it. I've had a chance to settle into it. And my immigration experience was bananas. It was like on the dime. Like they almost denied me citizenship for the paperwork sitting on someone's desk who had happened to leave the day before and just happened to,
Hmm.
and someone hadn't got it in time, and meanwhile I'd sent it in on time, and it took my lawyer sitting on the phone with them for hours for somebody to get out, go get it, and for them to to reverse the decision. So it's little things like that I think about when I think about my scenario. I had someone that could sit on the phone for an hour. There are people who don't have that. There are people who just accept it. There are people who don't understand the language or are just learning, and it's literally life and death for some of those people. And it's that fickle, it's that real, and it's made harder depending on who we put in government. It's
Absolutely.
it's this it's like a hairline for a lot of people. It changes people's life trajectory. I don't take it for granted that I have it. I don't take it for granted that I'm here, and I'm grateful for it. So my job, part of my purpose is to make sure that people understand it's more than just who's president. It's more than just like whatever campaigns are running. This is the local side of it. This is the everyday government side of it. This is the intricate parts that we're voting for. Please make sure you vote correctly. Like make it make sense.
Yeah. So
Like
for
you're
you,
good, trust yourself. You have common sense. Let's go for it. So
it's
that's my part. That's why I'm in it.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like it was a no-brainer for you to be a part of something like this.
Yeah. And you gotta consider I've been here for 15 years. Or I was here for like 10 years at that point. Everything legal, visas on visas, doing everything right by the book, paying my taxes, my best life. And it was like almost a split decision. No one would have cared that I sang a song that everybody loves, and no one would have cared. You know what I mean? And yeah, I didn't like asked out in America with, or happened to go home and restart my life again, my effective life on the ground in London with none of the last 10 years of experience mattering. So, like take my choices away immediately.
Yeah.
So I was little like, yeah, that wouldn't have been fun.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every opportunity that's allowed me to be who I am, and I don't take for granted that I have something to give back. So that's why I pulled up.
Yeah, that's so nice. And I think we need that. I think we all
Mm.
need, the
Yeah.
people representation to really just get
Mm.
people to go out
Mm.
there and vote. So I think that's
And
amazing.
vote for sure.
Yeah.
It's real.
So I see you're coming up on the 20th anniversary of your album. Can we talk about that as well a
Yay!
little bit?
Yay! It's my first baby. It's so cool. Um. Goodness, I remember who I was at 24. Wild. Wild time.
Yeah.
I remember who I was. I was so convicted, and I still am. Um, I was very, very like clear and in control. I've allowed myself to trust a little bit more now, and trust being controlled by trusting myself. Like the people you hire are good. You know the right people. You do good things. I used to micromanage people. I don't. I try not to do that anymore because it's too much stress for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think about that album, and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy because I remember the period. I remember doing it, and I remember like having fun with my sister and my sisters recording it. I remember all the trips we took to like go get it done. We would just literally be like, "Give us this much budget. We're gonna go to New York and work with so and so." I hooked it up. I'd be speaking to whoever, like, "We're gonna go over there and work with boom, boom, boom." Me and one of my managers at the time, and it was just such a fun, go get it done type vibe time when I think about it. But like, oh baby, today's world, I don't know. I'm very proud of her. Like I said it, like I posted a post of it the other day, and I was like, I'm so proud of you. Like you have to tell yourself this to like talk to your inner child, and talk to the women you were, and the people you were before this, and let them know that you did right by me though, because life is awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, girl, life is okay. It's not, it's not forgotten. I didn't forget you. I
Yeah.
know who you are. Thank you for standing for me and taking care of me in those areas. And this is good. We made some joy. It
Yeah.
means something.
And it's
Yeah.
nice to probably look back on that. And I know it's the 20th
Oh yeah.
anniversary this Friday, right? The 18th day of
Yeah. We
yeah.
have five. We have a new record called Fire coming out the same day. I was like, what? I was like, oh shit, this is great.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about it all. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So can we expect a video from Fire as
Yeah.
well?
We got a little something for Fire.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's joy. Anytime I get to put myself in any kind of visual moment with legends and OGs, I take it. And I learned that from doing the Estelle show. Like, there are many, many artists I've interviewed who are like, I mean, look, my mom and them used to listen to like frequently. Like they was their Mary J. Blige. Like Patti LaBelle was my mom's Mary J. You know what I mean? Like Gladys Knight was my grandma's Mary J. Like it's a little my grandma's Mary J. My mom's Mary J. might have been Mary J. Like it's a little, and she's my Mary J. too. But it's very much like there are people out here who have made incredible impact on our lives. And I think to myself, and I think about Joy, and I'm like, she doesn't get her due. She's influenced 1,000% of these alternative youngins, right? Which is how it should be. And I want to see her face. I always want to see her face. I want to see her out here. So anytime I get to stand next to Joy, I just pray some of it rubs off on me, you know, for my future, for whatever I got going. And yeah, we did a little video for a little something video, like a premium content, I want to call it. It's not like a full out because we had to make it shorter. But we did something special for people, or a few things special for people. And we worked with I like to I like there's a lot of really, really dope women and men in music and dance and all of that. And I worked with this crew called the Councilwomen, and they to me are like, dear Lord, if I wish I could dance like that. I know I sound little. I said, dear Lord, like, but I wish I could move like that. There's times I'm just like, God, like you have to move to the lyric and the beat at the same time. Like what? And I'm not a micromanager anymore, like I said. So I let them do their thing. I was like, here are the numbers, here are the colors, turn up.
Yeah.
And they created something really beautiful for the song. And I'm just, we done a few records, so I'm excited for people to keep seeing it, feeling it, hearing it as it comes out. It's going to be good.
Do you have a date for us for when this album is coming out? Or is that
I
like
would say winter. I made
okay.
the sunniest album and I'm putting it out in the winter. That's all I got.
So
Yeah,
for the new year, we have new music expected
yeah.
from you for the new year.
Oh, for sure. All over the period. Yeah, all over.
I think I covered just about everything. Again, you are doing
Cool.
so many things. It's so amazing.
Yeah,
Congratulations again. Is there
thank
anything
you.
that you want to share with us that I didn't cover that you want
Oh,
to touch on?
I just want to, I'll reiterate. I just want people to understand and hear and feel this music and let it speak to their life, because no matter what's happening, and life is, what did Gorilla say? At the end of the day got to end.
It does.
We cannot live in fear. We have to live in joy. We have to live in love. We have to live in ourselves, and we all have it. So it to me, this is a record for if you need a distraction, you or not a distraction, but you need an alternate point of view, go for this album. If you need something else to boost your energy, go for this record. If you need something else to make you feel something other than what is happening in this dumpster, what's happening in this world? It's on fire. This is go to a different type of fire, your kind of fire, you the fire that's in you, you know. And I don't want to. I really mean it. This isn't. These aren't taglines. This is to me a means of thriving. This is to me a means of like some just redirecting your energy in a way that may be healthy for you, other than like going down the line of think pieces of why the world is shit. We're still here. We're still humans. We're still beautiful. We're still brilliant. We can still do good. You know, I believe it, and I've seen it, and I see it whenever I feel like I redirect my energy to love. So redirect your energy. Come on over. Come on over to the sunny side.
So it
You
sounds
know,
like the album is for me because at 24, it's a lot of things I'm trying to figure out, and I will be listening.
you got it. And this is it. I know where you're at. I feel you. It's but guess what? You're here and you're here for this time and it's on purpose and everything is exactly where it's meant to be for you. So just, you can use what you know and that's your light, redirect, redirect to your light and be that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's it. You got it. It's all over you. You got it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, again, it was a pleasure talking to
Welcome.
you. Congratulations on everything. And I know I can't wait
Thank
for
you.
January. I know more amazing things are going to happen for you. So again, I just wanted to say
For
congrats.
sure.